Shri Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas, the literary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, after very carefully studying all divisions of Vedic knowledge, while performing severe austerities and engaging in meditation, composed the great literature Mahabharat. However, seeing that his literary composition had extended to 1 lakh verses, he became very anxious while wondering how it would be passed down to his disciples and from them to the people of the forthcoming age of Kali Yuga, a time when memory and duration of life are very short and people are very slow to understand the truth. Indeed, Srila Vyasdev specifically compiled this great work for the benefit of women, laborers, and degraded members of the higher three Varnas, that in Kali Yuga very few persons would be able to ascertain the true purport of the original Vedas. Understanding Srila Vyasdev's anxiety, Lord Brahma, the grandsire and secondary creator of the universe, personally appeared before him. Being wonderstruck, Srila Vyasdev and the other sages in his assembly stood up and welcomed him with palms joined in reverence. After respectfully seating Lord Brahma and circumambulating him, Srila Vyasdev sat down nearby. With the Lord's permission, he said, "O grandsire, I have composed a great work centered around the Pandavas and Lord Krishna, who had descended on the surface of the earth to relieve her of great burden. Although this great literature is ultimately meant to draw one's attention to the instructions of Lord Krishna imparted to Arjun at Kurukshetra. It deals with every aspect of human existence in the course of its historical narration. By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I have been able to conceive this sublime work. I am anxious as I cannot think of anyone capable of writing it down so that it can be passed on to future generations." Lord Brahma said, "My dear sage, I can understand that your composition is divinely inspired and thus its poetic expressions are unequaled. Let Ganesha, the son of Lord Shiva and Parvati, be thought of by you, for he is capable of writing down your epic poem." After speaking, Lord Brahma suddenly and mysteriously disappeared from view. Immediately, Srila Vyasdev brought Ganesha to mind, and as soon as he was thought of, that son of Lord Shiva appeared before the son of Parashar Muni. Vyasdev, greatly delighted, Srila Vyasdev offered Ganesha a seat and then said, "O scribe of the demigods, I have composed a wonderful historical poem of 100,000 verses for the welfare of the world. Please write down these verses as I dictate them to you, for only then will my efforts prove fruitful." Ganesha replied, "I will write down all that you dictate to me, provided that my pen never stops, even once, even for a moment." Srila Vyasdev said, "So be it. I will never inconvenience you with even the slightest delay, if you agree not to continue writing until you have thoroughly comprehended what was dictated." Ganesha gave his consent by reciting the sacred syllable Om. Without delay, Srila Vyasdev began dictating his lengthy compositions, and so that he would have time to consider everything very carefully, he composed the verses in such a way as to present deep and grave meanings in very concise statements. Because of this, Ganesha frequently had to contemplate the meaning of the author's verses. In this way, Srila Vyasdev very cleverly provided himself ample time for dictation without making Ganesha lose his patience. Srila Vyasdev was present when the Mahabharat was recited for the first time by his disciple Vaishampayan. The recitation of Mahabharat is in itself a great sacrifice, and it took Srila Vyasdev 3 years to compose. This Mahabharat was compiled by the great literary incarnation of Godhead, Shri Krishna Dvaipayan Vyasdev, primarily for the purpose of broadcasting the glories of Lord Krishna's pure devotees, the Pandavas. Anyone who listens to this wonderful history with great respect and with rapt attention is cleansed of all sinful reactions. Altogether, Vyasdev composed 60 lakhs verses of Mahabharat. 30 lakhs verses were delivered to the heavenly planets, 15 lakhs to the Pitralok, and 14 lakhs to the Yakshas, whereas 1 lakh are known in human society. Narad Muni had first recited Mahabharat to the demigods, Asit Deval to the Pitras, and Sukadev Goswami to the Yakshas and Rakshasas, while Vaishampayan delivered it to human society. The Mahabharat should be recited by a pure, learned person, and whoever hears this great work should give in charity as much as possible during the course of its recitation. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, then please like, share, and please subscribe the channel if you haven't.